Hello, hello. I hope everyone is having a good day. So I'm sitting here taking a stroll because it's nice outside. So as I'm sitting here strolling along, and I'm sitting here thinking, because I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, and I think it's a good topic and it's a good conversation to be had. What is the quote unquote appropriate amount of time one should have spent dating, getting to know somebody, and whatnot before they call themselves getting married to them? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, especially in this day and age, people don't take the necessary time to date or court one another. They just jump into things very quickly. And I'm not sure what's more common. It's probably the having the children is more common than somebody getting married. But I'm gonna keep it on the getting married. Hold on. Because the procreating is a whole other topic, even though they both can be had at the same time. But I'm gonna do a little pre-record as I take this little walk because I want to know what you guys' thought process is when it comes to that. Because I know there's people, and I know people who didn't date one another for very long before they decided that they wanted to be married, and they got married and everything was okay, they were good. As well as I know people who were with one another for over 15 years and never got married. Then for whatever reason they felt driven to get married even though they were able to have a fine relationship. Everything was, it was what it was. Obviously nothing is ever perfect, but they were good. And then after they decided to get married, not too long after that, they wind up splitting. And that in itself is crazy to me how people can be with each other for so long without even being married and not have talks or discussions about, about splitting or whatever have you. And then they get married and then boom, now they're done. So these are just my thoughts as I'm sitting here going for this stroll, excuse me. And I want to know, what are y'all thoughts about that? If you even have any. Because there's a lot of people that don't even believe in getting married, which that is a whole other conversation to be had. I don't know. I might do a few different lives this upcoming week, talking about these type of topics. Hold up. Okay. Because there also is a good amount of people who, even if they decide they want to get married, they make the decision to get married and don't want to have children. More and more, that is becoming a common thing. So you have the set of people who don't want to get married at all, right? You have the set of people who don't have a problem with getting married if they find the right person, but they definitely don't want to have any kids, right? And really, what I want to get y'all thoughts on, even I'm all over the place with my stroll talk, but that's my business. Oh well, right? Duh. What I really want to get y'all thoughts on and opinions and feedback on is, what do you think when it comes to the courting phase or the dating phase slash process? And even though you can't put a universal time limit on something like when somebody should feel comfortable or feel ready to propose and whatnot and to accept that proposal, But there are people who just jump into it, way, way too quickly. The same way there's people who put it off if it's something that their partner feels strongly about. Which that's a whole. I gotta stop with these side conversations because there's so many different ones so many different conversations that could be had surrounding this topic. But I guess let me just keep the main thing right now. Let me just keep the main thing the main thing. Do you think that? All right, what do I want to ask you guys? What do you think is too short of a time limit to get married? And what do you think would be an appropriate timeline to propose to somebody and accept their proposal if you feel like this is the person you would want to be married to? Do you feel like somebody should be dating at least 2 years or whatever have you? Obviously, you'll give your own timeline. Do you feel like people should live with each other before they actually get married, even if it's not before they propose or accept the proposal? Do you think people should live with each other for a good amount of time before they go ahead and actually do and get married? Because I agree with long engagements. You know, I agree with long engagements. I agree with fully knowing your person before you get married to them. You need to be able to see them in all their elements, whether they're happy, sad, mad, sick, whatever. You need to know what their pet peeves are, meaning like the biggest things that bother them, get on their nerves. You need to see what their living habits are. You need to see all those things, in my opinion. And people who get married after only dating each other for a couple of months, or people who get married after only dating each other for about a year and some change but never lived with each other, I don't really agree with that. I feel like it's kind of setting yourself up for failure to a certain extent. So this is just a quick little video I did while I'm taking this little walk. Sorry if I'm all over the place, but I want to know, how long do you think people should date before they get married? Basically, to sum it up, how long do you think people should date before they get married? And do you think it's a bad idea to get married after only dating each other for less than a year? Okay. Oh, and do you think that people should live with each other before they get married? Those are the things that I'm thinking. Those are my thoughts, and I want to know what your thoughts are on that. Okay? Thank you. Bye.